Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Ardent Mages on Endless. To be perfectly honest with you, I kind of feel like we're in victory lap mode a little bit here. The game's not over. It's still possible that that Red, D-days us or something, but I feel pretty secure. Alright, so Wendex in the comments on the last episode did helpfully point out that there's no point in me waiting until the Arts Council, which increases the science output of this city, is finished before popping the science stockpiles, because the science stockpile is applied at the Empire level. It doesn't matter what the payout of a particular city is. So I'm being a little silly with these. Let's get those rolling. Okay. It does matter what your Empire approval value is, as far as I'm aware. I think this does get applied, so it's important to do that while fervent, but of course we are fervent right now. Our army is going to have to play up front, unfortunately. I'm a little annoyed that green is being a pain in the ass, especially when there's, like, no way at all that they can possibly harm us. I think we're probably honestly just going to have the army, like, patrol back and forth up the coast. Oh, here comes green again, yeah. And this centaur is going to be on Pearl duty. Let me guess, a green spy? Oh, we didn't even catch him. What's the, Man, I got so many cities I don't even know where Redalta is. Okay. Yeah, that's like a pretty low... That's a pretty low security value. I'll buy out some science buildings there. Alright, I think we needed the blood crystal to keep... Yeah, we're just barely fervent with that effect on. Let's keep checking the marketplace. People are going to sell stuff all the time, like science stockpiles. Okay. This is what I want. Moonleaf's not moving like I wish it would. We could reapply the spice buff. And we probably should. Population matters to us at this point. Okay, we have 70 now, so... We are making some spices, we're just not making enough to keep the booster rolling infinitely. We're also 20 off on the Dust Orchid. Yeah, let's just buy that out. And I mean, every turn that the Dust Water boost is rolling is a turn of dust that is paying for more resources. To be perfectly honest, the Dust Water booster probably more than pays for itself. Almost no matter what, you have to pay for it. If your economy is as large as ours is, it's a lot of extra dust. Alright, extra science from all of our heroes. Oh, we have alchemical armor tons, so actually, anybody who is a governor anywhere... Let's see about these trinkets. Which one? Here it is. +2 science per person. Yep, this is going to be one of those things where we need to buy a whole bunch of. So it was 9. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. So we need to buy 50 titanium real quick. We cannot buy 50 titanium real quick. Okay, we're going to wait till next turn when I have some money. And Anakin finished that thing, which honestly they didn't really need. Cargo docks? I don't like... Cargo docks give a bunch of extra industry, is basically what I was thinking there. Anything it builds is going to take forever. Whatever. We're going to have it build science buildings anyway, but, just can't afford the titanium right this second. Alright, so you got that. Your next job is this one, I suppose. Oh, no, never mind. There's like a bunch of... There's a bunch of stuff for you to do. Alright, so let's go kick these guys' asses. Apparently this team's not all entirely... Oh, the Zealot we just ran down from Strahd was out of date, probably. Didn't have the best armor on. Although I guess, we don't have the, we don't have these guys upgraded all the way to tier 3 armor. May as well. Not that I think that, Green's army is a threat that is necessarily worthy of this kind of attention. But it's not impossible that one of the other players will decide that we should not win the game and come over here. And if that happens, I want to be ready for it. As ready as I can be. Ready as I can be without spending a bunch of extra strategics, let me clarify, because I'm not going to bother changing out weapons. Plus, every little bit of upgrading you do before you get attacked makes the attack less likely, because it reflects in your army strength, which I believe is just a weighted... it's basically just a simple math function based on the combined stats of all the units of your army, as far as I am aware. I mean, why the hell not? We have the stuff coming in quickly enough. Alright, she's gaining levels quickly, getting lots of output in that city, so we need 45 titanium. Just for gear. Let's get these heroes outfitted. I know this is a tiny bit tedious, but it's going to save us a little bit of tedium in the long run, because it may cut off some turns here. Everybody gets a book. There's enough people in my country that this is actually a really significant amount of extra science. Yeah, you're a governor now. I appreciate your combat prowess and everything, but you have an important job. Alright, I don't see that there's any particular reason to wait on this. May as well just go get him. Unless... Nope, not a lot of new units or anything. Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, the hero managing Anakin is getting some good stuff. I maybe should be working up toward Firestarter. I know that she actually her city's not as big as the others, and so I'm thinking like a percentage boost is maybe not quite as important here. But it already is an 8-pop city. Like everybody's gonna move over to science. In fact, everybody should move over to science like now. Let's do that now. I know I'm hurting my dust income, but it doesn't. I have no idea whether it's better to be buying pillars or just putting people on science. And I probably will do some of that math, actually, because I'm a large enough nerd that sounds interesting to me. But for right now, I think what we should do is just focus everybody on science. And I'll come back and do the math later. We're going to spend a lot of our resources probably just rushing buildings rather than building pillars. And we're going to be focusing everybody manually on science. Anything to get some turns off of these clocks here. So Redalta's building an Imperial News Network. Yeah, that one will go first. That'll be the first one that we finish with dust. Alright, and in Yarrow, here we go. And that leaves us on plus 3365 per turn. That's totally fine. So how much... Ooh, you know what else I should check? Actually, we should be prepared for our Empire plan, and it's turn 158. I should have checked that earlier. Let's get this done real quick. Alright, so obviously we have a pretty baller stun right here. Let's just move most aggressive possible positions. Let's get this done quickly. I don't know what green is even thinking. You are targeting probably the wrong unit. Let's have you shoot at somebody who's getting a turn. Yep, okay, this guy goes after she does, so... Yeah, sounds pretty good. And then the hero who's actually governing the city can go ahead and lay on the buff, because I think we will actually get more damage out of that than we would out of her shooting at the enemies. Also, she can't get over here to reasonably do that anyway. Alright, sorry I don't have a lot of gripping commentary here. It's basically a slaughter. It's actually kind of grim to watch. I don't feel like super excited about the way this is happening. This is like, I just feel bad for him. I'm mad at the boss. I'm mad at the green leader that sent these poor unprepared units into war. The thing is, I have to assume somebody else has got to be picking on green, right? Let's have a quick look at the diplomacy chart. If I was that weak, people would be all over me. No, they're not at war with either of the other players. That's crazy. Yeah, if I was that weak, the computers would be tripping over each other trying to tear me up. Eat whatever little pieces are left. I have to say, it disappoints me a little bit. Alright, so... Empire plan. Let's make sure we're getting the Empire plan we want. So between all the buildings we're building and all the boosters we currently have running, we probably don't need this anymore. We do want this. We have a lot of districts in our empire. So that would be 2210, which we're actually quite close to. We have 2 turns, and we need to make 260-ish. So what are we at right now, 96? Yeah, we can get there. Let's just grab a big city or two and move them off to... just for insurance. In case I'm bad at math. I have a lot of years of formal math training. And I'll tell you what, I have a lot of very complicated concepts down pat. But it turns out when you do that, it often pushes out a lot of the arithmetic stuff. I'm sure it will surprise nobody that I'm a bit of a math nerd. But man, basic addition and subtraction has gotten markedly worse since I was in elementary school. Alright. So what am I don't remember, can I mouse over my pillars? Yes, incineration, 6 turns. So how much dust am I really going to need, I guess is the question. Alright, let's plan to rush things in Redalta first. Redalta matters most. It is the largest part of our Empire's science output is here. Oh, you know what? We need to get this climatology guild up too. This is a big deal. There's a number of level 2 districts here, so that's going to be. Is that more important than this? This is 17 pops. So this is an extra 34 science a turn. Yeah, this is more than 35 science a turn in this city. So let's buy 17 titanium right quick. And put that on the list. Okay. I honestly just, I don't know, stand here. Seems like a fine place. This way, along the road, they can reach Strahd or Anakin or like Onderin pretty quickly. I just don't know. I don't know what else we could possibly need to do. All right, so let's commit that Empire plan and then move all those people back to what they should be doing. That is a thing I very easily could have forgotten to do. Really? Wow, that's expensive. Alright, we might just wait until pillar time is over. I want to make sure I have the dust necessary to drop the pillars we want to drop. Well, I mean, this is like a pretty big boost, though. The AI's turns are getting longer and longer, even as they get more and more irrelevant. We should periodically check the marketplace again, just see if people are selling stuff we need, see if there's stockpiles available. Starting to get a little concerned with the length of this turn and the fact that nothing is visibly happening. Kind of makes me think that maybe the game's locked up a little bit or something. Right? Because this is a... Okay, that was really unusually long. Well, I hope it's not going to do that constantly. Oh, you know what? We kicked in the Empire plan with the building cost reduction, which dramatically reduces the cost of buying the buildings out as well. So yeah, that's totally worth doing. Atikin defended. What's the security value of Atikin? 40. The Inquisitor's divinity is cheap enough that I don't really mind buying it out. So we have it in the other coastal cities. All we have to do is send the green spies home once because they don't have vision of our cities at the moment. And every time they want to infect us, they'll have to run an army back over here, which will end poorly for their army. This cannot be an economically viable plan. And really, that's all we need, right, is to make it not economically viable. Alright, plus science. Unfortunately, the Valter faction tree isn't actually great for governing. Alright, another 15% science for the science capital of the universe. And Longfangs, I don't know, man. Just work toward Cold Operator. Alright, we injured the guy in Karandar. Really, Karandar. Okay. Yeah, I'll buy an Inquisitor's Divinity there, too. Why not? Alright, so how many turns do we have on these pillars yet? That's not showing me the pillar tooltip. There we go. 3 more turns. Alright, let's... How much would this be? Let's buy this out and then no more buying stuff out until after pillars are done. Alright, so what else can we do? Arts Council is pretty good. Yeah, work on that. And for you, okay, we still have a couple of things that need building here. Large-scale aquatic center seems like a good play, though. 3 turns into the difference engine, which will double our Empire science output and send us speedily along the road toward victory. We should periodically keep checking the market, looking for more free science stockpiles. Ooh, and stuff like this. Somebody sold a boatload of Moonleaf, and all of a sudden there's enough for a booster. I'm realizing now, I don't know how the multipliers work. Let me explain to you what I mean. So right now we're looking at 11,000 Empire Science per turn. When we get this, it's going to apply a plus 100% modifier. It applies it on the cities, not on the Empire level value. I guess that probably won't end up mattering for anything that we care about. So I don't know if it matters. Basically, I'm wondering if applying the Moonleaf now is sensible, or if I should wait. If the modifiers are applied additively, that is to say, if the plus 100% on cities becomes plus 150% if it's combined with Moonleaf, then it actually doesn't matter now. Starting it up now will add the same amount of science. You know, this turn, using it will add the same amount of science as using it in 2 turns. But if it's applied multiplicatively, that is, the Empire value is multiplied by by 200% and then multiplied by 150%, that would be a pretty big difference. So we're going to wait and test it. I'm also going to wait on the science stockpile until... Oh no, well actually this doubles the science output of cities, not of the Empire, so there's no reason to wait. That's why it matters that it's cities and not Empire-wide. So, okay, hold on. Let's have a quick look at Atikin. We'll do a little napkin math and figure out. Back of the envelope math, as it were. 320 science plus 15% is, yep, okay. Okay, it makes more sense to work up toward Firestarter than to finish Renaissance Thinker. Plus 15% science output is a lot, it turns out. Is this what I just did? Yeah, I just didn't dismiss this thing. Okay, and Asaya Arca needs to now... Asala Arca needs to now work toward Inspirational Leader, which unfortunately is a little bit of a long path. She's going to have to level up a couple of times before that becomes relevant. I'll just finish that thing. Plus 3 on terrain with river. Really? Do we have a river in Amael? We do. It's been such a long time since the beginning of the game, I don't even remember what our cities look like. But we should probably get plus 10% science instead, on account of, you know, this number being fairly large. And plus, it doesn't take any time to build stuff in Amael, even without any citizens on industry. Thanks to the various wonderful and brilliant things that we have done in that city. Alright. Let's hold on to our dust until we get to pillar time. We're going to pop that Moonleaf after Difference Engine goes into effect, and we're going to watch when it happens, and then we'll have a good solid answer to how that works. Okay, you guys need to find me some more pearl deposits. Here's one more than one dot. Alright, so out of curiosity, 11,164. Oh no, our pillars are going to end right as the difference engine goes into effect, which is going to make it harder for me to tell whether this effect is applying additively or multiplicatively with our current bonus, which is to say from this. Well, actually, that's not an Empire level bonus anyway, is it? It's a city level bonus. Pretty much everything is, it seems like. Well, actually, everything is, right? Because it is, it's the case with this as well, so it still would be visible. Alright, so let's... I don't think it really matters what order we do these things in. I guess this seems fine. 8 turns, though, not too bad. Alright, let's start with science. We have all these lovely science pillar locations over here. I'm not going to bother putting a dust pillar down this time. We have a focus. Alright, we definitely want to put pillars in all the good pillaring locations. Over here. Sorry, I know the game doesn't look as pretty out here at like the strategic Empire view, but it's so much easier for me to read at this zoom level. It just makes more sense to me out here. Alright, okay, that'll do. Okay, so we're back to buying things out. We'll buy stuff out as we can afford it. Managed to take a turn off of Endless Alloys there. Alright, so right now we're at 16k. If things apply multiplicatively, this will put us up to 24k. I can't imagine. Yeah, okay. The bonuses are additive. Let's hit that as well. So we do have everybody in every city on science, right? Okay. A bunch of things ran out, and at the very least, we'd like to keep the Dust Orchid running. So, around 20, we need to buy 50 Dust Orchid, and there is that much. Green is in a temper tantrum, hurling spies at us still. Karandar this time. Karandar's defended, I mean... I'm not going to put in any more effort than what I have put in, is what I'm saying. I don't care that much. Arts Council seems like the way to go here, so let's buy 3 Mithrite for that. I didn't actually press the button. So it would seem. There we go. Alright, you get your thing done. 2k is not really enough to buy out anything that needs a lot of effort. There we go. That's something I can do. Alright. Boy, these AI turns are taking a moment, aren't they? Alright, are we maintaining fervency? We are not, but there we go. More resources coming through. I know we're not changing the number of turns on endless alloys, but it's important to keep our approval and science levels as high as possible, because it does change the amount of science that bleeds off of that last turn into the next tech, and it may, it may end up being a turn or 2 turns in the overall scheme of the rest of the game. Yeah, I figured that was only going to take 1. And then I think there's not really... Oh, they don't even have the Imperial News Network yet. Well, let's fix that. They should be able to get that done quite quickly in the capital. Yeah, okay. That's actually longer than I thought. Alright, Redalta is out of useful things to do. Cargo docks don't add science, right? Yeah. Okay. The game's not going to be 26 more turns, I don't think, so it's a little irrelevant. Alright, Parandy just finished their news network. We should be getting to the point where we don't need quite so many boosters to maintain Fervent. Oh wow, you don't even have Imperial funding yet. Damn it. I'm sure I typed 10. I feel very confident of that. You know what? Honestly, this might well be the most valuable thing we can do with this dust right now. Who does it look like might be close to finishing their thing? Yeah, we can rush that for you. Buy you 8 mithrite and get you working on the next thing. Just keep pushing this science, man. Checking periodically. Probably there's not going to be another science stockpile. They do not generate very quickly naturally. So really the only hope we would have of one appearing is somebody selling it, which could happen. It could be the case that an AI is building stockpiles and is so desperate that they're selling them as well. It's not likely though. So we need a little bit of mithrite on this. And Endless Alloys will help us a little bit. The reason we put that up for the next tech is because it will help us finish all this other stuff. And again, we may be looking at, a difference of a turn or 2 in the long run. It's not there are no longer plays that are going to take huge chunks off of our remaining time. Yep, Karandar injured him, whatever. I do notice that they're not attacking our cities or our empire's science output, and I'm not sure why. Maybe the AI is playing fair. They don't get to know that we're... I mean, I guess it's not even a matter of playing fair, though, because a player could know how we're doing on science by checking the scoreboard and seeing that we have 1 victory tech. Oh, you still need Imperial funding as well. Wow, let's get on that. Yeah, wow, somebody's selling a huge amount of titanium. The only reason we're able to stay in business here. Alright, then we need another 10 for this, which is the next thing they'll build. So we may as well queue it up now. Alright, so Endless Alloys is Tech 2. 5 turns for a distillery. Means we're probably looking at maybe 20 more turns. Maybe. It's pretty conservative. And like I said, I think it's going to be very difficult for anybody to stop us at this point. Even if somebody came over here and started attacking us, they'd have to do a pretty good job. We have the dust income necessary to buy an army if we need to. We have access to, although we are not currently using, the best weapons tech that is available. Oh, we should probably build this before we build the Imperial News Network. Plus 10% science is a compelling amount. We went down to 34 dust that turn. Alright, Amael just finished doing what? Imperial News Network. Okay, they don't have any more important science stuff to build, so Royal University. This one will actually get done in time to be useful. And we should maybe start banking dust. Yeah, we have 3 turns on pillars, so let's hold up on that. More inspirational leader for more science. Boy, they really hate our industry in Karandar. They're just spamming that reduce industry attack over and over and over again. The AI does not use their spies well. They use them aggressively, but not very intelligently. Alright, keep checking the marketplace. Stockpiles are cheap. There's not enough Moonleaf for us to Moonleaf again, sadly, so when that ends, it's just over. We probably won't get to do Moonleaf again. We are running out of Mithrite on the marketplace as well. Did I seriously do that thing again where I typed it? I could have sworn I clicked the button. Maybe not. Apparently not, but it sure... Part of the problem is that the game gives you the audio feedback. If you do the audio feedback occurs on button down, but the purchase occurs on button up. So if you button down and then like move your mouse or close the menu too quickly, you get the audio and visual feedback of button press, but the button doesn't actually press. We do have an Empire plan coming up. Oh hey, we can pop our spices. Cool. So, are we going to be short? Do we need to move people over onto... Yeah, I think it's worthwhile to do that. So we need 2,200, which means we need 800 more. And we have 6 turns to get it. So let's move some people... I mean, let's just move Parandy over. That'll do. Oh, Parandy just had a birth, apparently. Our value went up by 1. Okay, so we only have 7k this time. Let's make sure all of these pillars get up. Then the capital, which has a very pillar-accommodating shape, even if it's a little silly looking. That didn't actually go down. Right there. Do I not have enough money? Okay. Usually they gray out when you don't have enough money. It's weird. Alright, here comes the doubled dust. Are we still fervent? No, we dropped fervency. That's a problem. We dropped fervency and we ran out of dust orchid, which is unacceptable. Fortunately, somebody is making a living selling dust orchid as well, which is really important to us. Alright, so is this the second to last? Yes. This is going to be 7 turns, and the next one's going to be like 8-ish. Probably. We will get a couple of stockpiles off before the end. At this point, I think it's more worthwhile to us to spend dust making stockpiles happen. Well, except that they're very expensive. Reactivate, please. That one's pretty important. Does that keep us fervent? It does, just narrowly. I mean, we may as well. Alright. Oh, I totally forgot my damn lenses thing. I was going to do this, and I totally spaced on it. So we have 35 pearls. This is something we should be buying in all of our cities. Maybe not all of the cities, but... I know that there's a command to queue stuff up in all cities, But we don't have the pearls for that. And also, I don't think there is a command for buying stuff out in all cities, as far as I'm aware. So you're supposed to have dudes, running around and making sure that happened. Actually, it's probably more efficient for him to go this way. Because there's a bunch of pearls over here. Okay, that is one stockpile finished. Helps a little bit. Looks like green is maybe not going to send another force over. Which I appreciate. Oh, I'm trying to click this button here. We have so few turns left that I'm thinking the income buyouts are going to yield less total science than just buying out stockpiles to make sure we can run as many stockpiles as possible. Alright, who finished stuff? Yeah. This is a pretty large amount of science. Although I guess it's a pretty large amount of science in some cities. Here, maybe less so. Yeah, I'm not going to bother. Here, I also need something to build. Alright, so we're about to finish another stockpile. Damn it, Toril. Okay. Always with this. Always with the starving. I don't know how these people can't manage a food stockpile. It's a shame we can't, Actually, I just said food stockpile. That is the answer to that problem. Let's actually pull these guys back over to here. And I'm just gonna buy them a food stockpile. Because stockpiles are very cheap. And it will put enough food into the city's pile of food that they won't starve. It'll take a long time for that to deplete. Alright, new Empire plan all set, which means that we can go back to Parandy and move these guys back here. Rasigo probably can't actually help, but keep leveling up, you crazy diamond. Oh, yeah, hey. Build a point of population. That seems pretty okay. So the United Empires Council is not going to be super relevant to us. It does double your diplomatic point gain. I've never had that come into play, but I could see it mattering. If you're kind of close and somebody else is close to one of the other victory types, I can see it being relevant. I guess this city actually has a lot of the important stuff already, so build burrows. Alright, this is the turn where we get to see exactly how many turns are left. Seven, okay. Yeah, it would be very difficult for one of the other empires to do enough damage to us to make that really matter. Ooh. So purple has pushed red out of their capital. Purple might come for us, but it would be tough for them to take our capital in 7 turns, I would think. And Onderin actually got to be a pretty good city. I don't even want to keep commanding you to do stuff, though. Or what's here? Do this. Just stop asking questions. Stop asking me for orders all the time. Alright, let's see. Nope, no new stockpiles. Nobody has sold a big load of Moonleaf. Alright, 7 turns. Probably nothing we can do to make it faster than 7. I will, of course, be expending stockpiles and everything in the attempt. Okay, if we keep our science output at this level, which is to say +1 stockpile, it would actually take us 1 fewer turns, but I don't think we can do that. Nobody else has stockpiles available to trade, nor would they if they did, I assume. And the market doesn't have them. Yeah. I guess we could buy industry stockpiles to try to push our science stockpiles along faster, but to be perfectly honest, I don't think it really matters. Let's just press end turn a couple of times while we talk about the game and what we can learn from it. Because it's not just losses that you can learn from. I would argue that in a lot of cases you can learn more from losses than you can from wins. Let's make sure we stay fervent. But to be perfectly honest, you should be learning something from every game you play. So I will say that we definitely have things go a little bit easier than they normally would during the early war against Green due to the bug that caused city garrisons to lose health while the city was under siege. The bug only existed for a few days in the production build, but it definitely made the siege of Tural a lot easier than it otherwise would have been. I'm not going to say that we couldn't have taken it, but I will say that we could not have taken it as quickly as we did. It would have required more troops to show up, we would have had to wait a little bit longer, and Green definitely would have had the chance to push us out. I don't know, man. As you can see, a lot of the Vaulter hero skills just are not relevant. We can theoretically get up to Inspirational Leader eventually, but not within the next 4 turns. I'm not going to bother to put the pillars down either. At this point in the game, I don't think that there's anything we could do to get this down, aside from having 3 stockpiles to run. Maybe we could get it done a turn earlier, but I don't think it matters. Stay fervent. Anyway, as I was saying, the siege bug helped us, but I have no idea whether it would have broken us. The early game war always feels to me to be pretty balanced on a knife edge, and that may just be an artifact of me not being as good at the game as I should be to play on this level. Right, we're still... Geez, we're not actually still fervent. It didn't change the number of turns to finish the tech, though, so I don't really care. Yeah. So it's possible that Tural taking extra turns for me to get reinforcements up to actually fight them might have turned the war, might have caused me to stop short. I don't know. It's hard to say. But basically, I think what we learned here is that you can just still ignore the sea and still win an internal game. I think a domination game still would be possible too. It would not be impossible at this point in the game for us to decide we want to take some oceans, build some ships with the Hyperium and Mithrite armor and weapons, and take over. Let's have a look at the score screen here real quick. So our overall score is a fraction of theirs. A significant fraction, but still a fraction. This, I assume, corresponds to the point where purple started totally kicking the crap out of red. For some reason, nobody went after green to finish them off, which is crazy, because I'll tell you what, if I had just one tiny province left on the AI's landmass, they definitely would have come for me. But, anyway, what did we learn here? I don't know. What we learned is that I don't know enough about the math of the game, and that actually I am going to go back and try to do some napkin math, and maybe share that with you guys a little bit on what the most optimal way to play the end of this game was, because that's something that I would like to know at least. So that's going to be it for this game and this series, Ardent Mages on Endless. We may come back to it. There may be more Ardent Mages gameplay in the future. Come back tomorrow. We're going to be starting a game as the Morgar. It's been very highly requested. I didn't want to do it right away, right after the Tempest series, because I figured we'd already seen a little bit of it, but we may as well give it another go now. So, yeah, come back next time for that, and we'll see you then.